Have you ever taken a leap of faith, hoping for something beautiful, only to be caught off guard? That's exactly what happened to Michael, a 65-year-old retired teacher from sunny Florida. After years of peaceful but lonely living, Michael decided to step back into the dating world. Encouraged by a neighbor, he agreed to meet Christine, a confident and elegant retired nurse, for coffee. At first, the meeting felt promising, a light-hearted conversation between two people searching for companionship. But as the date progressed, Christine revealed shocking demands that left Michael questioning everything. These weren't just casual preferences, they were conditions that turned a potential romance into something else entirely. Curious to know what they were? Stick around, because this story will make you laugh, shake your head, and maybe even see dating in a whole new light. Let's dive in. Let me introduce you to Michael Davis. At 65 years old, Michael had spent most of his life teaching math to high school students, a career he loved and dedicated over 3 decades to. 5 years ago, he retired to a quiet, sunny condo in Florida, ready to enjoy the simpler pleasures of life. But life after retirement wasn't quite as fulfilling as he hoped. 3 years ago, he lost his beloved wife, the woman he shared his dreams, struggles, and laughter with. Since then, Michael has kept busy with hobbies like gardening, reading, and volunteering at the local library. But something was missing. Like many of us, Michael realized that no matter how peaceful life might be, it feels incomplete without someone to share it with, someone to laugh with, talk to, and create new memories alongside. It wasn't marriage he was after, just meaningful companionship. And so, he decided to try dating again, opening his heart to the possibility of finding connection in his golden years. With a mix of excitement and nerves, Michael prepared for his blind date. It had been years since he'd last been on one, and the idea felt both foreign and exhilarating. His neighbor Linda, who managed community events, had convinced him to meet Christine, a 52-year-old retired nurse who lived just a few blocks away. Linda assured him they had a lot in common, and Michael thought, why not give it a chance? The big day arrived, and Michael, dressed in a crisp white shirt and blazer, made his way to a cozy cafe near his home. He arrived early, found a seat by the window, and waited with anticipation. When Christine walked in, she exuded confidence and warmth. Her elegant light blue blouse and kind smile immediately put Michael at ease. The conversation flowed naturally at first. They talked about their shared love of gardening, Christine's passion for cooking, and the joys and challenges of raising their children. For a moment, Michael felt hopeful. Christine seemed genuine, thoughtful, and easy to talk to. They laughed, exchanged stories, and found common ground in their appreciation for quiet, simple pleasures. But just as Michael started to relax, Christine's tone shifted. She leaned forward, her expression serious yet composed. That's when the conversation took an unexpected turn. It all seemed perfect until Christine began laying out her expectations for a relationship, one by one. What followed left Michael stunned. The 4 demands. Demand 1, trial living with a $20,000 deposit. As the conversation shifted, Christine began to outline her expectations, starting with her first condition. She proposed a 6-month trial period of living together. On the surface, Michael thought this idea wasn't entirely unreasonable. After all, it could help them understand each other's habits and compatibility before committing to anything long-term. But then Christine added a twist that left Michael taken aback. She insisted that, to move forward, Michael would need to deposit $20,000 into a shared account. She called it a commitment deposit, a way to show his sincerity and seriousness about the relationship. If things didn't work out, she assured him she would refund a portion, prorated to the time they spent together. Michael felt a wave of emotions, shock, confusion, and even a little disappointment. Was this love or a business deal, he wondered. He tried to make sense of it. Perhaps Christine had been hurt in the past and was trying to protect herself financially. But the more Michael thought about it, the less it made sense. Relationships, especially at this stage in life, should be built on trust and mutual respect, not financial transactions. While he listened politely, Michael couldn't shake the feeling that this request turned what should have been an organic connection into something transactional. He questioned himself, was this too much, or was he being too judgmental? Deep down, he knew it wasn't about the money, it was about what this demand represented. And it didn't sit right with him. Demand 2, a month-long Hawaii trip. Christine moved seamlessly into her next condition, and this one was even more surprising. She began painting a vivid picture of her lifelong dream, a month-long getaway to Hawaii. She described it with enthusiasm: romantic sunsets by the beach, scenic helicopter rides over volcanoes, and serene moments surrounded by natural beauty. To Michael, it sounded like a lovely idea. Hawaii is, after all, a place many dream of visiting. But as Christine elaborated, her expectations became clear. She wanted this dream vacation to happen early in their relationship, and she expected Michael to cover all the expenses. Flights, accommodations, activities, everything. Christine promised she would take care of the planning so Michael wouldn't have to worry about a thing. She even envisioned a professional photo shoot to commemorate the experience. "These photos will symbolize the start of our new chapter together," she said with a smile. While Michael appreciated the sentiment, he couldn't ignore the practicality. They had only just met. A trip of this scale wasn't just about the cost, it implied a level of intimacy and commitment that felt premature. "We've just met, how can I commit to this level of extravagance?" he thought to himself. Michael remained polite, nodding as Christine shared her vision. But internally, his thoughts churned. Relationships, to him, were about building something meaningful over time, not diving into grand gestures so quickly. He began to wonder if their ideas of companionship were simply too different to align. Demand 3, total financial control. Christine's third condition took Michael by complete surprise. With a calm and confident tone, she explained her vision for managing their finances. If their trial cohabitation went well and led to marriage, she expected full control over their household finances. Christine justified this by emphasizing her organizational skills. As a retired nurse, she claimed to be highly disciplined and capable of handling money responsibly. She proposed that Michael hand over his retirement income, which she would manage entirely. In return, he would receive a small monthly allowance for personal expenses. If he ever overspent, Christine added, he could make it up by taking on extra household duties, like cleaning or cooking. Michael listened carefully, but inside, he felt uneasy. His retirement funds weren't just numbers in a bank account, they were the result of decades of hard work and careful planning. Surrendering control of them to someone he had just met felt not only unreasonable but deeply unsettling. He thought to himself, partnership should mean equality, not dominance. Relationships, especially at this stage of life, should be built on trust, mutual respect, and shared decision-making. Christine's proposal, however, felt more like an arrangement of control than a partnership of equals. Michael began to realize just how differently they viewed relationships. While he valued autonomy and collaboration, Christine's demand seemed to prioritize her needs and security over the balance of their potential connection. The imbalance left him questioning whether they could truly be compatible. Demand 4, separate bedrooms. Finally, Christine shared her fourth and final condition, and by this point, Michael braced himself for what was coming. She explained that even if they moved in together or got married, she would require them to maintain completely separate bedrooms. Christine justified this by emphasizing her need for personal space. After over a decade of living alone following her divorce, she had grown accustomed to the comfort and freedom of having her own room. Sharing a bedroom, she claimed, would disrupt her sleep and make her feel crowded. Michael tried to understand her perspective. Having separate bedrooms wasn't entirely uncommon, especially for older couples seeking comfort and independence. But in the context of her previous demands, this request felt like yet another rigid condition. He thought to himself, relationships should bring people closer, not build walls between them. By now, Michael couldn't ignore the growing discomfort in his heart. Each of Christine's demands seemed more focused on preserving her boundaries than fostering a connection between them. While he valued independence, he believed in compromise and shared experiences, something that seemed missing from her vision of a relationship. Michael couldn't help but wonder, could this final demand be the last straw? It was becoming painfully clear that Christine's idea of companionship didn't align with the warmth, trust, and mutual understanding he was seeking. He realized that moving forward would mean compromising not just on practical matters but on the very values that made relationships meaningful to him. After patiently listening to Christine's demands, Michael took a moment to collect his thoughts. He wanted to respond respectfully but honestly. With a calm and gentle tone, he thanked Christine for her openness and honesty. Then, he explained that while he appreciated her sharing her expectations, he didn't feel he could meet them. Michael chose his words carefully, saying, "I believe relationships should be built on trust, mutual respect, and shared values, not conditions or financial arrangements. What you're looking for is perfectly valid, but I don't think I'm the right person for it." As he spoke, Michael felt a mix of relief and disappointment. Relief that he was staying true to himself and his values. Disappointment that this meeting, which began with so much promise, didn't lead to the connection he hoped for. Michael realized something vital that day: a mismatched relationship, no matter how well-intentioned, could bring more stress than joy. Walking away wasn't easy, but it was necessary. He left the cafe with his head held high, confident in his decision to prioritize his peace of mind and self-respect. Later that afternoon, Michael sat on his porch with a cup of tea, replaying the conversation in his mind. While he wished things had turned out differently, he felt a newfound appreciation for what he truly wanted in a relationship. Reflecting on the experience, Michael offered this advice to others: dating at 65 isn't about settling or compromising who you are. It's about finding someone who complements your life, someone who shares your values and respects your boundaries. For anyone navigating relationships later in life, Michael emphasized the importance of trusting your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, listen to that voice inside. Peace and compatibility are worth more than anything else. His story serves as a reminder that companionship should bring joy, not conditions. Whether you're seeking love, friendship, or partnership, never settle for less than what aligns with your heart and your values. As Michael learned, staying true to yourself is the greatest gift you can give.